Top 10 most popular videos. Hello and welcome to a video this week. Slightly self-indulgent, I know, but look, not only is it my 15th anniversary on YouTube, but I have just been notified by YouTube this morning that I've apparently passed 2 million views, which is okay. That's quite interesting. That's quite a lot. I mean, okay, it only took me 15 years to get there. On the other hand, that's more than some Chris Chibnall Doctor Who episodes got on live broadcast. So I've decided to be self-indulgent and go down the list of the most, according to the YouTube analytics, from my lifetime on YouTube, of what my 10 most popular, i.e. viewed, videos are. Now, I'm not going to count like clips of TV shows. I don't do that anymore, but I did back in the day, or like interviews, like with Rebecca or Alex, or that Double Dare Amelia episode. I'm not counting stuff like that because that's not really mine. That's just something that I uploaded. I'm counting my videos, my reviews, my music videos. So let's have a look and see, according to my lifetime analytics, the 10th most popular YouTube video I've done is the top 10 most underrated classic Doctor Who stories. Okay, that's kind of a surprising one. I mean, it's not surprising that there's a Doctor Who video in there. I wouldn't have thought that would be like one of the most. I would have thought like season by season would be okay. That's a bit of a random one. I mean, it's a decent video. I wouldn't have thought it was one of the absolute best. It wouldn't have been my choice, but okay, that's interesting, I guess. In 9th place of my most popular videos, we have a music video, Emma Watson Perfect. Okay, I think that's an okay video. I like the song and that. I have to be honest here, I'm not really as big of a fan of Emma as I was a few years ago. I've kind of lost interest a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like, Perks of Being a Wallflower is still a great movie, and I still think she was great as Hermione. I'm just not really, that bothered. You could argue that that's because she doesn't really bloody do very much these days. I mean, I think she's made one movie in like the last 7 years, and I didn't think that was much cop. That was that Little Women, another adaptation. Wasn't really my cup of tea. I mean, it's a chick flick, but honestly, even as a chick flick, I kind of have fonder memories of the 90s one with Winona Ryder and that. I saw that back in the 90s. I haven't seen it since, but I thought it was likable enough, whereas the modern one kind of bored the living crap out of me. So I'm not really sure that's a good enough excuse, especially when you take into account that like most of my other absolute favorite actresses, like Amelia or Bridget or Rebecca, they've all long since retired, the majority of which for longer than 7 years as well, and yet I'm still a huge fan of them. Let's quickly move on, shall we? 8th place in my top 10 most popular videos is a TV spotlight I did for Taggart. Now, this was one of the first reviews I did back in April 2016. Obviously, it's got the Brian voice instead of mine. I think it's a good vid, though, even with the voice. I think it's a solid vid. Yeah, I mean, I still pretty much agree with everything I said in there as well. I love Taggart, but Taggart with Taggart in it. It wasn't really the same after Mark McManus died. And then in the 2000s, when they dropped the serial format and just went to like 50-minute episodes. 50 minutes is not long enough to do a compelling murder mystery with guest characters trying to figure out who's the killer is and who's going to die next, while trying to service at this point 4 regular characters. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it in the 2000s. Taggart though, absolute class. Okay, 7th place is the horror review of the 1978 Richard Burton horror movie, The Medusa Touch. That's a bit of a random one. I guess that movie must have a stronger cult following than you would have thought. Okay. Again, I think that's a voice one. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's one of the last ones I did with a voice. I think. No, it must be 2019. It says. Okay. Oh well. Okay. Again, yeah, it's a decent enough review. It's a good movie. It's just a little bit on the random side to see that review kind of so popular. Okay. 6th place is a music video. It's a music video I did in 2020. Sky and Lana Smack Into You, to celebrate the Sky and Lana return, very brief return to Neighbours, and the first time I watched that show in a very long time. And I have to be honest, I love that video. I'm quite proud of that video. I'm happy to see that it's done so well. I mean, when I look on my like analytics for like your daily analytics, which I check every so often, it's pretty much always in there, which is good. But to see it in in 6th place in the top 10 most popular of all my videos, that's pretty cool. The only kind of thing that makes me cringe slightly about that video is that I made it within like a week or 2 of it happening, of course. But at that point, I had to make use of like YouTube clips for the ones from their original stint, because I didn't have anything. That's all there was. There were clips on YouTube, and some of them are really piss poor quality. And like a month later, I somehow managed to actually get hold of those episodes in good quality. I mean, not 1080p, but still high quality. Certainly higher quality than some of those clips. And I look at it now, it's like, shit. If I just waited like 4 more weeks, we wouldn't have to have those really poor quality clips in there. But it's a minor quibble. It's still a very good video, and it certainly doesn't seem to have affected its popularity. So, okay. 5th place, another kind of a random one. The TV review, my review of the Joan Hickson Miss Marple story, The Body in the Library. I keep meaning to do it like the others, because I love the Joan Hickson Miss Marples. I've just never really gotten around to doing any of the others. That review is insanely popular. Again, it's a voice one. It's just so random. You can never kind of tell which videos are just going to completely disappear and which are going to just be insanely, ridiculously popular. Okay, that's very odd. 4th place is a music video to Swedish actress Rebecca Liljeberg, Swedish Angel. Bizarrely enough, that's the very first YouTube video I ever made, uploaded on the 29th of February 2008. So basically, that is 15 years today. That's crazy. And that's the 4th most popular video. It's certainly the most popular kind of Rebecca Alex video that's not like just a straight interview or something like that. That's actually something I've made. Okay. I mean, I like it. It's a nice video. It's obviously fairly crude. I mean, it's the very first. It's just a slideshow, It's the very first one I'd made. Crazy to see it. Kind of that. Okay. 3rd place, again, just delightfully random, is the TV spotlight, the TV review I did in 2020 of Secret Army, the late 70s British World War II drama about occupied Brussels and the resistance movement that was going on. That again, this Those two videos, Secret Army and the Sky and Lana one, they're the two most popular vids that I made in 2020 by far. Okay, I mean, it's a good video. I do think it's a good video. It's a good review. I was using my voice at this point as well, not the Brian voice. I do think it's a good review. But I mean, some of these things seem a little bit obscure. Like it's only hardcore people who would really remember these shows like these, and yet they do better than some others. Okay. Number 2, second most popular vid I've ever done on this channel is a review. It's my top 20 80s horror movies. Now this was done in 2017, so it's very much a Brian voice review. I have got a couple of people whining about that over the years. What do you have to use the voice for? Oh, shut up. Okay, I mean, I think it's a decent enough video. I know that there are people, there's a strong fan following, especially on YouTube, for 80s horror. So it's perhaps not particularly surprising to see that so high. I mean, it's a decent video. I can't say it's one of my favorites, to be honest. But okay, it's very popular. But the number 1 video that I've made, my number 1 kind of actual made vid, is a music video. It's a music video I made in 2017. It's the top 20 90s movies music video. It's the most popular vid I've ever made. Okay, that's crazy. I do remember that video did absolutely nothing for like years. It got like 30 or 40 views or something, and that was it. And then suddenly, a couple of years ago, it just suddenly went nuts. It suddenly went nuts and started getting thousands of views. I guess 90s nostalgia started kicking in. I guess we weren't quite there yet in 2017, but we got to 2019 or 2020 and suddenly 90s nostalgia started kicking in, and that's why it's gone to the top. Like you said, you never know though. It's like Secret Army. I mean, Secret Army did absolutely nothing for the first couple of months. Again, it got like 30 something views. And I'm like, really? 30 something views? I thought that was a pretty good video, to be honest with you. And you're just kind of, you're kind of disappointed that it doesn't do better than that. And then again, that went completely crazy. I don't know why. I mean, at least with the top 20 90s movies, I can kind of say it's like 90s nostalgia kicked in. Why that one suddenly took off, I don't know. You know what's most interesting about these top 10 videos? There's only one Doctor Who video in there, which is crazy. I mean, Doctor Who is, it's generally speaking, they're the most popular videos on my channel. Doctor Who reviews generally do better than pretty much anything else. And yet, of the all-time top 10, there's only one that's actually a Doctor Who video. It's like that. It's very difficult to predict because, generally speaking, on average, Doctor Who is the reason most people watch my channel. They're generally my most popular videos, and yet every now and again you get these outliers that you might think would do okay, but which for some reason just go completely nuts. Like the Secret Army one and the Sky and Lana one, the Miss Marple one. Oh, well, anyway, that's fascinating. I find it fascinating anyway. I don't know if anybody else does. Anyway, that's my little self-indulgent video for this week. I'll try and do something slightly less self-indulgent next week. I just thought this was interesting, especially given the notification that I got. I know it's not. I know there are YouTubers who far. I'm nothing. I am nothing in the YouTube pool, but still, I think that's quite interesting. Anyway, that's it. There'll be a little video later in the week. I don't want to say what it is just yet, but there'll be a little video, and then I'll be back on the normal schedule for next week. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little ramble. I'll talk to you again soon.